I'm definitely not making this video as an excuse to play the Switch version of Devil May Cry 3. Fucking sue me. Anyway, this game starts out with Lady giving us spoilers about the ending before Dante pops out of the shower, demonstrating he has his priorities straight by wearing his pants, boots, gloves, and amulet while remaining shirtless.
Sorry, not open for business yet.
Mr. Clean then pays us a visit to inspect our shop's cleanliness before we open for business. Dissatisfied, he performs a table flip and leaves us with some cannon fodder to deal with. After a wonderfully bizarre opening sequence, we get to jump right into the action, and we begin things rather awkwardly as I come to grips with style switching on the Joy-Cons, while also not having everything unlocked like I'm used to. But whatever, Mission 1 and 2 are a breeze. I might have accidentally skipped a cutscene or two forgetting the fact I'm supposed to be capturing all of this, but it's alright. After taking out a horde of homeless knife wielders, we have a run-in with the Wicked Witch of the West, who goes down pretty easily. Our brother Virgil then invites us to his house for a sleepover, and gives us a clear indication of where he lives by erecting his house like a giant penis in the middle of the city for everyone to see. But as for whether or not anyone like the military or law enforcement or the government is going to come check out the enormous tower that just ripped through the ground out of nowhere and sits there for approximately 12 hours? Don't worry, no one will. Anyway, he steals our kill that we worked so hard to earn, so it's time to go make him pay. I want to take a second to ask how the fuck Lady managed to get here. I mean, there's clearly only one way to get here from the street, but I guess she can defy gravity with her motorcycle, so maybe she just building hopped. I don't know, I'm thinking about this a little too hard. Once I embarrass myself a few more times trying to get used to playing Devil May Cry with a pair of Joy-Cons, we start to make a little progress and get to a strip club where things actually play out pretty smoothly. We then get to Cerberus, and Dante mooches for the camera a little too much, and I'm immediately reminded that this guy is actually a pretty tough fight for just starting out. Without much health, no devil trigger, 2 guns, 1 weapon, he can be a bit of a tough bitch to take down, even more so without style switching. Look at the leg texture! Oh my god! We go down twice, but thankfully we pass him before this game gives us journalist mode as a selectable option. Anyway, there's literally nothing I can do to make this scene more ridiculous and funny than it actually is, so I'll just say what happens. Some teenager in a schoolgirl outfit that somehow arrived after we did pops in on a motorcycle and narrowly avoids hitting Dante with it until she decides to fire a rocket at him. A complete stranger that she has no idea at this point is a demon, that he rides like a skateboard before she uses the hole created by its explosion to defy gravity, and they part ways. Wow. Next up, we get to take a look at our 2 bad guys. What is he even reading? Like, he's skipping through the pages so fast he can't possibly be reading anything. What the fuck?
Storm is approaching.
I remember back in the day how much this central chamber pissed me off. The really far out camera with an extremely low resolution just made me go, what the fuck? But thankfully with a nice old 1080p format, this actually looks pretty good. Get fucked. I don't know about anybody else, but I miss the quick one-off taunts that Dante used to have. Like, I fucking hate Devil May Cry 4's and 5's rendition of taunts where, you know, you have to sit there for an eternity and a half to get literally no style points out of it. I legitimately miss the, just done. That's it. Some style points, quick taunt, back to the action. Not just sit there for a fucking eternity and a half getting jack shit for it. Oh right, I forgot that doesn't even take me that far yet. Oh my god. Once we pass one of the most annoyingly pointless bosses in this entire experience, we get to meet the most annoying character in it as well, in the form of Jared Leto.
Will do no good. No good!
At this point, I notice that Swordmaster has got way more experience points than every other style, and I woefully realize that the 4 styles don't get leveled up simultaneously, so I force myself to kill a few enemies as Trickster so I can eventually unlock level 2. After kicking some gangbangers off an elevator, we come across 2 statue-like figures that control fire and wind. Wait a second. Fire and wind. It's the fucking Pillar Men! Holy shit! Wamo and AC/DC are in this game! No. You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me. Whoa! That victory is too fucking clutch. "10 years later, and I still remember it.
Point a gun at me, your own kin, your dear papa.
Your daddy." We now get to episode 1 of Araki Forgot. Let's not forget the fact that Lady has shot Dante several times now, once with a rocket, and only now does she realize he's a demon. I love the fact that she has her priorities straight as well. She's here dangling for dear life and chooses to just shoot first and ask questions later. Fuck you! After an eternity and a half of embarrassing myself on this goddamn secret mission, we can finally move on to Virgil Round 1.
Or better yet, how about a kiss from this?
Watch closely. You're about to experience a nigga moment.
This may be fun. This may be fun. This may be fun. This may be fun. Ow! This may be fun.
Shut the fuck up, Virgil. Oof, the controller vibrations on that are spicy. That's about as gory as it gets, Capcom. Virgil takes an automatic win this time around in spite of us winning, but we get right back up and jump straight into the action. I swear to God, these cutscenes make Ebony and Ivory look way more useful than they actually are. He isn't killing a single one of them with that. How fast does he have to be going in order to do that? Anyway, once Dante gets vored by a giant flying sea creature, we can move on with our quest. Why do these look like vaginas? How is its heart connected to a digestive tract? Why is there a light source in this? I'm asking all the important questions here. Virgil looks so fucking done with him.
What's wrong?
Why don't you tell us what's wrong, Virgil? You look upset. You need a hug? Once we get out of this giant sea creature, Lady comes to threaten us once again while nonchalantly— How is there not blood raining on her? Anyway, we make conversation as we mow down hordes of helpless minions and move on to Mission 9. At the end of this mission, we're greeted by boobs. 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 Oh, right. Boss fight. I gotta be real though, Nivon is one of the better fights in the game so far, especially with the style switch option. Right now, all of my styles are only at level 1, and I don't have that many upgrades or weapons, but my god does this fight feel amazing. Anyway, once we kick this bitch's face in, she agrees to help us, and once again, I can't say anything about this cutscene to make it more ridiculous than it actually is. She transforms into a literal electric guitar, which Dante then uses to play and sing the battle song for this game with an epic light show and special effects that come out of nowhere. This game's fucking wild, man. Time to move on to Mission 10. Oh, that looks interesting. Anyway, not much happens at all during this mission except for a Nike commercial just like what we had in God of War 3. Hi, Devin. Lady proceeds to tell us about her Shonen Jump backstory, and I'd like you to remember this scene very carefully. about how Dante is very obviously just messing around with her. It'll be important later when we look into another episode of Araki Forgot.
You mean you were possessed? Father?
Lady then falls for the oldest trick in the book. Once again, my Joy-Cons remind me that going down at an angle is too hard for them to process, and we get on with this mission to fight another boss. Once we take out Beowulf, and finally unlock Trickster Level 2 because I didn't forget to leave it on as I beat him, Jared Leto pops right back in.
Oops. You saw it too, didn't you? That huge tower jutting out of the ground. That thick shaft that causes women to shudder.
He hits us with a few dick jokes before exiting center stage, and with this next mission having a permanent devil trigger in a race against time, there's only one way to do this. Shit. Once we hop off that Reign of Carnage and skip past the next Jester boss fight because fuck having to fight that guy again, we come across... The next boss is a spectral horse drawing a carriage that can teleport and stop time. I'm not even joking. After more attempts than I'd like to admit of fighting this domesticated odd-toed ungulate mammal, we finally managed to put old Thunderbolt down and unlock... Meanwhile, Virgil meets up with Beowulf and proceeds to steal our kill for a second time this day. He looks like he's doing a fucking Power Ranger pose. After my Joy-Con struggle to process what the down direction is for the millionth time this run-through, we meet up with Virgil once again. We go for round 2 against this kill-stealing son of a bitch, but less than halfway through, Lady interrupts, having not seen the No Girls Allowed sign outside. Afterwards, surprise, surprise, we are all betrayed by Mr. Clean disguised as the Joker.
It's time for the clown to bow out, Arkham.
Dude, the show's over.
What the hell, man? Once again, there's nothing I can do to make this scene more ridiculous than it actually is, so... Dante takes a portal inside of this ancient tower that he just ascended to be teleported all the way back down to a strip club, where outside he finds Lady's motorcycle and rides it straight up said tower before using it to fend off demons, and then it blows up. Oh, so that's where Capcom got the idea for Cavalier. I'm gonna be honest here, fellas, I absolutely loathe this mission. It's got some of the worst enemy waves in the entire game, it's nothing more than just reusing old areas, and its layout is complete ass. Nonetheless, we breeze through it and move right the hell on. This next mission is a bit better. We end this off by meeting up with Lady once again for the final episode of Araki Forgot. Let's remember, Lady has seen that her bullets barely even affect us. She witnessed us crawl out of the corpse of this giant fucking Leviathan, and during a confrontation earlier, Dante was literally toying with her as she was actively trying to kill him. As for what makes her think she can actually take us on and win at this point when she's exhausted, I haven't the slightest idea. But after a long ass game of hide and seek against this bitch, we come out victorious. She's got worse aim than a fucking stormtrooper. These next 3 missions, there really isn't much to say about. It honestly highlights my thought that the Devil May Cry series and a lot of action games in general have a very weird tendency to slow down and get way more boring during the last few missions up until the final boss. Might do a video on that someday. But just know that we fight our shadow, do a boss rush, and fight the game's worst boss all within 3 missions. Enjoy this next clip. Holy shit. Virgil and I team up to take out Mr. Clean once and for all, and his daughter deals the final blow by shooting him in the fucking face.
Goodbye, Father.
And at long last, we reach the final confrontation with Virgil. I will take the time to say that Virgil is still a fantastic fight that might get his own video later. Style switching doesn't really do much for me since I just use Trickster on this fight most of the time, but maybe after practicing with Royal Guard for a bit, it could feel a little more useful. Anyway, since I'm forced to play on normal mode with my first run through, he goes down pretty easily, and to avoid having to pay for Nero's child support, he decides to stay in hell. Because I guess that's the lesser of two evils. And with that, we enter the credits scene where I once again fail to kill 100 demons in my first playthrough, but whatever. Dante steals Lady's idea before she can copyright it, and finally opens up his business as a suicide hotline for demons.